What's good? It's Sam here, and today I wanted to have an epic battle. We have Joe Biden against Donald Trump on the two biggest battlefields in the planet, and that is Google search volume and YouTube search volume. And we're going to compare the two of these guys in three separate time periods. We're going to look at take a look at the 12-month on Google search volume and 12-month on YouTube search volume. We're going to do the same thing for the 3-month and the 1-month, and then take a look at that. Who is winning overall when we look at those two together? And with that being said, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and if you're a returning viewer, first of all, thank you. Second of all, you had better be pressing that thumbs up button. This is your second time here. You have a responsibility. Do it. Now, okay, with that being said, let's get into it. So right here we have web search Donald Trump, web search Joe Biden, and we're comparing the two of these. And let's just make sure you can see this. Okay, as you can see, there's a huge difference, but it does look like Joe Biden has been gaining ground since about March. So roughly the last 6 months, he started to gain ground. Remember, he announced his run for presidency. I think it was the 25th. So right here is when he announced his I think it was the 25th of April is when he announced he was going to run for president. So that's where that big spike is from. I'm not sure what this one is from, but I believe the other one is probably from announcing that he was going to run for president. He almost got above Trump there, and he was above Trump at this point. And he has an upward trajectory, but it's just completely dwarfs Joe Biden here. Let's take a look at the 90-day on the web search as well. It does look like on average over here that he has gained, right, a little bit. So it's like a 4-to-1 ratio here, and at the 12 months it was a 65-to-12. So still about a 4-to-1 here, or 5-to-1 actually. Right? How many times does this go in there? 4, 5. 5.5 to 1. Now it's 4-to-1. So you can see that he is gaining at the 90-day. And this is decently ahead here. And this is decently above Trump at this point as well. At the end here, we do see a big spike in the search volume around Trump. But if we take a look down here at the search volume, right, we can see that search volume is about 80-20 on average for most states, or a little less than 80-20, right? Which is kind of weird, 80-20, that 80% of the traffic is for Donald Trump and 20% is for Joe Biden. That is kind of interesting, actually. Now, let's take a look at the 30-day here. And then we're going to get into the YouTube before we jump over to our state ranking, to our actual rankings. And you can probably understand, but I just took this and put it into a spreadsheet, what we're doing here right now. So here, again, it's actually less than a 4-to-1. So we do see Joe Biden is gaining ground against Donald Trump. But we see how the first time he had a bunch in the teens. We do see that there is progress. Right now, there's a lot of them in the 20s for Joe Biden in terms of searches relative to Donald Trump. A lot of the other ones were in the teens, and now he's in the low 20s, or about 20% of the search traffic relative to Trump. So he is definitely gaining. Let's go over to the second biggest website on the planet, YouTube, and here we have, let's see, 60-to-20. So now we're more like a little bit less than a 3-to-1 ratio. So that's interesting. Still a big margin, but we see that it's gotten much closer, it looks like, throughout this time period. And look at this, the kind of interesting thing. So over the most recent 30 days, this is on YouTube, because this is where we switched over. But we have Joe Biden actually getting all of the search volume in Wyoming. So if there's very, very, very little search volume for Donald Trump in Wyoming, then it's just going to show up as 0. So let's take a look at the 90-day. We're doing this one in reverse. Actually, let's go back there and just take a look at the ratio between these two. So we've got, that was 3-to-1 for the YouTube search. Now let's go to the 90-day. and through the 90-day, it's like a little over four, about 4.5 to 1. We can see it just the same. That's kind of interesting, but Joe Biden is still winning in Wyoming at the 90-day. But the color is much deeper, and meaning that he's got a lot more of the search volume. Now at the 1 year mark, it is it's a huge. There's a big difference here. What's it, 8 times larger or something like that? And we can see that on YouTube, opposed to on Google, Joe Biden's getting about 10% of all of the search volume, a little bit over 10% of all the search volume across the country. So that's kind of interesting. That Joe Biden is definitely not as present on YouTube. By the way, you know that a little fun fact here that I'm going to give you on Joe Biden in just a second. But first, I want to tell you to subscribe. Okay, now the fun fact about Joe Biden was that Joe Biden, his YouTube channel actually didn't even get started till April 22nd. So go to his YouTube channel, look at the About Me section on his YouTube channel, and his YouTube channel tells you the date that the channel got started, and it got started on April 22nd of 2019. Coincidentally, that was also the same time 3 days before he actually announced he was running for president. So he probably hired somebody to help him out. I actually have no idea. That's just conjecture 100%. But you also look at Twitter, and Twitter, he was averaging like 20 tweets per month. As soon as he did the announcement, they've been going up and to the right the last time I looked at it. So that is kind of interesting that he didn't have any presence, and then somebody was like, hey, you know how powerful these things are. You need to like fucking do something about it. Anyways, enough stalling. Let's get into it. So pretty much Trump just like walks all over Joe Biden in both of these rankings. It was interesting to take a look, but we didn't see one category where Biden comes even close. Like, Biden doesn't have any of the same amount of relevance that Trump does, even though the media might talk about them back and forth perpetually. They're both like, Joe Biden is not even close, not even nearly at the same level that Trump is at. So if you like this video, make sure you press that thumbs up button. Share it with somebody else who you think that we want to get this message out about what we're doing here. So if you found this video like slightly informative, then share this with somebody else who you value and are trying to bring them value through sharing good content with them. So if you think this was good, share it with them. If you don't think this was that good, but it was kind of good, but not that good, then press that thumbs up button. It does help the channel out. Jump over to Instagram. The link is in the description, and say what's good. And I will see you soon. Peace.